Welcome to episode 5 of Diners, Drivers, and Rides. We're here in upstate New York to meet with Michael Porter, Operations Manager at C Blackburn Inc. Join us as we talk to Mike about how both heavy and medium duty international fit into their operations.
Hi Nicole, Mike Porter. Welcome to C Blackburn Inc. in beautiful upstate New York.
Hi Mike, nice to meet you. Thank you for being on our episode today of Diners, Drivers, and Rides. Can you tell me a little bit about your day-to-day operations here?
We are a US mail carrier, and my great-grandfather actually started the company over 65 years ago. And for about the last 60 years, we've been hauling only US mail.
Great. Have you, in those past 60 years, hauled anything else besides US mail?
Just very early on, we hold a variety of commodities out of New York City area, but as of now, we only haul US mail.
So I just saw your grandfather, Cliff, walk out to the shop to lend a hand. How many other generations work here in your family?
Yeah, Cliff, my grandfather, is still a very active member of the organization, as well as my mother, who's the president. So she's involved in everything from day to day. And on top of both my grandfather and my mother, my uncle works here, my father works here, and my cousins still work here too.
Wow, that's awesome.
Some days.
Yes, some days it is. So we're here in front of a International 4300. Can you tell me a little bit about your fleet and the mix of vehicles that you have in it?
So we have about 150 power units total, about 100 to 110 tractors, and about 45 straight trucks.
Wonderful. And what do your drivers like most about the 4300?
The 4300 has been a very reliable vehicle. And on top of the reliability, they have great visibility in the cab, and the comfort level is second to none.
And you do all your service work in-house, correct?
The vast majority of the service work gets done here in upstate New York, yes.
Wonderful. And do you keep any service records of the 4300 or your heavy duties that you run?
Yeah, the Internationals have actually been a great vehicle for both maintenance cost and for fuel mileage as well.
And I know you have some experience with International Used Truck Centers, specifically Nashville, which is kind of crazy because it's a little bit farther away. You work with Brandon Weaver at the Nashville Used Truck Center. Can you tell me a little bit about how you met him and why you decided to do business?
Yeah, there's actually about 2 or 3 used truck centers that are actually closer than Nashville. But we met Brandon at the National Star Route Mail Contractors Association meetings about 6 or 7 years ago. And at first we were kind of shy, but after that kind of kicked off, and we've only bought our used trucks from him. The first time I was able to buy used trucks all on my own, I was very proud of myself. I went out, found some used trucks. Funny enough, they were actually used Penske trucks. Okay. And we had some trouble with them coming back. The salesman that I bought them from at a regular dealership said, well, it's a used truck, you're on your own. And then I finally gave Brandon a shot. We had some trouble the first week. The repair bills were pretty high. So honestly, I called Brandon to make fun of him and tell him, maybe we won't do business again. And he came through and covered everything, and it was a great experience, and we've bought trucks from him ever since. So the benefits of the 3-piece hood that we found is we've actually had several instances where we've had people hit either objects or animals on the road. You can see we're out in the country. We have plenty of live animals out here on the road, and unfortunately, accidents happen. But when they've happened, we've been able to change parts of the hood instead of being stuck with the cost of a total hood repair. So we found that great for our bottom line. We do find that they get good fuel mileages, so we're not total experts, whether that comes from the hood or other parts, but we have found they've been a great asset to us. So the International medium duty trucks that we have all come stock with the Cummins ISB engine, and when compared to the other OEMs we run, they've been much more serviceable because of the space that's in the engine and the availability of parts. So we've actually really loved having them, the Cummins ISB, inside the International medium duty trucks. So our drivers have really liked the interior of the International medium duties. Even back to the International 4300s have great visibility, great cab comforts. And then as the International moved into the new MV models, they actually redesigned the whole cab to be great features for the drivers, including the steering wheel has the radio controls, as well as the phone on it. Our medium duty here, actually, we added windshield defroster, the little lines like people have on their back windows for ice. So they've been great driver comforts that they've actually loved pretty good. So currently we run around 20 International LTs and about 20 International ProStars, and all of them come with Cummins power. The new LTs are coming with the X15, and the ProStars have the ISX in them. Well, the Cummins has been a great, reliable engine for us. The warranty's been great, and we've also had great luck with the ISX in the ProStars. They've been a great engine that's lasted a long time for us. So the first time that we bought an LT, we were shocked at the fuel mileage we were getting with them, because they were beating the nearest competitor that we had by at least 10%. So it's been a great benefit for us in the long haul with the fuel economy. So as our company started to really look at safety as a very important part of the company, we looked for a truck that had all those great safety features in one truck. So the International LT we could spec with air disc brakes, the Bendix Wingman Fusion, and the new LED headlights. All those features have been great for our overall safety culture here that we find so important.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We're here at the Greens at Copake Lake in New York. We have Mike Porter with C Blackburn, as well as his mom, Suzan Porter, who is president of C Blackburn, Inc. And also joining us today is Brandon Weaver at the Nashville Used Truck Center. So thank you guys for being here today. So why Brandon over, other sales guys? What has brought you to International Used Truck Centers when it comes to that?
Actually, Brandon's just done a great job. Like, you just call him, tell him what you need. And then when he sees it, he's on the lookout all the time. And then he actually talks to my son, Michael, and gets everything done. We decide what we need. And it's really a quick turnaround. It isn't like I need to go from place to place to place to go look for a truck. Mm-hmm. Brandon takes care of it. It's done really quickly, and we don't have anything to worry about.
Well, the big thing with Brandon is he allows us to deal with a national used truck center, but the small hometown feel you get if you were to walk into your local dealer. That's kind of what drew us to the Nashville store, is you don't feel like you have the buying power to buy from the national account, but you still get that small town feel that you look for. As you can see, we're from a small town up here, so that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
You're not looking to deal with a big conglomerate, but you also want all the power you get from buying stuff from those kind of people.
It's just such a nice truck when you get that used truck. There's nothing that looks as used as if you just bought something off somebody's lot. Mm-hmm. And then Brandon, if there isn't something that we like, he just takes care of it. I mean, you just don't get that everywhere. And so Brandon takes care of anything that goes wrong. It just makes you want to go back to the same person who sold it to you. And then we tell everybody that we deal with in our association about Brandon. Mm-hmm. And then he's also, he's a vendor for us. So he has ads in our local carrier and our National US Mail Contractors carrier. And then everyone goes back to Brandon, and he can use us as a referral. Yep. I don't think we need to, though. I think we're pretty vocal about, what a great association we have with them. So.
Right.
But I also think that Brandon's very smart about the little things. Mm-hmm. Like, Brandon's always made it the buttons. Like, that's important to you. The steering wheel, the little things the driver's going to see, right?
Yeah, across the company, we do a lot as far as reconditioning. I mean, from the fit and finish, the buttons, the steering pod buttons, the seats, trim pieces, there's no perfect used truck out there. But there's things that need to be done to bring that truck up to a condition that's worth sending to a good customer. And I think we do it well at our location, as does all of our locations, when it comes to getting a truck ready and presentable to send to the customer. And that's something that, the small details, the small things. I've got a boss that says, how you do the small things is how you do everything. And that's kind of the stuff that we look at.
But we have our new shop manager. We actually happened this last year. We bought all those used trucks in maybe June, I think. I think it was December, and we were in the shop. And he looks at a truck that was a little rough. He goes, that didn't come from the used truck center. He knew 6 months later that the truck came from the local dealer, not from you guys. Yeah. So that was a big deal to us.
It is telling to say, though, that, that you can tell the difference between an international used truck and then something else from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I think the process of not only buying the truck when it leaves there, the recon process goes more than just the buttons. You actually go through it to the point where you want that truck to make it to me fine and to keep going. And I mean, we were talking about this before. The last truck had an issue coming home. I conned my uncle into coming out of retirement to drive down there.
After
Thanksgiving,
Man,
to come driving home.
It was a tough time.
And
we needed the truck.
And he was in the business for 30 years, and when that sensor broke down on a late afternoon, he said, well, I'm going to be stuck for a day or two. I mean, you can say what happened, but you got him on the road within 2 hours.
Well, we were really fortunate. He called me an hour outside of Nashville, and at that time it was a QLS issue. I knew immediately that's what it was. And I just got on our international dealer locator thing on the web and found out what the closest dealer was that he was going to be passing on the way. And I got in touch with our wholesale manager in Nashville that had a relationship with that dealership. They put me in touch with the service manager there, and I said, look, I've got a customer coming through that's got this issue, should be the recalibration, and they're going to New York, and I need to get them in and out. And they were really receptive to it, and lo and behold, they got him out within, I think it was about 2 hours.
I was going to say hours.
He called me and was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked myself, but
but it was great.
Sometimes things happen like that, and it made us look good, and I was glad to help you guys out too.
But that's way different than the first used truck I bought. When I called them on the ride home to say something was broken, they said good luck.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So that was a little different experience.
Yeah.
Well, my boss, he told me from the get-go when I first started working here, he goes, you can sell somebody a truck, but if you don't treat them right after the sale, you're never going to sell them again. And there's so much more that goes into selling a truck than just, price and collecting the money and pushing them out the gate. I mean, you got to follow up with folks and see what's going on, and have a vested interest in their business and what they're faced with on a daily basis.
That's exactly, to me, what happened during COVID when we were really short of trucks. I mean, he just took care of, if he knew he had a truck that we may want, because not everybody wants exactly the type of trucks that we want, he would let us know as soon as possible. And that's, to me, you're taking care of me.
Yeah.
You knew my business needed it. Yes. I mean, we run only the US Mail. Mm-hmm. As we all know, during COVID, it was just crazy. We needed those trucks at all times. And so when I call you and tell you I need a truck, I'm telling you exactly what I need, and he would just take care of it. Mm-hmm. So we're just really blessed that that's how it worked for us, and we've just got a great relationship through it.
Yeah.
We need to get into I think, though, the safety aspect of being able to get as many safety features put onto our trucks as possible is so important to us. As a company, we have, like I said, Michael is also the safety director. We have an assistant safety director now. It's so important.
Does it help at all? Is most of your trade-ins are like from bigger fleets that care about that stuff?
Yes, fleet maintained.
But you know what I mean? Like most of our trucks have been JB Hunt or Cardinal trucks,
which are
like
very, very
have the safety stuff on them because they're coming from the large fleets.
Yes.
Honestly, there's a couple of like single axles down there that'd be nice trucks. They don't have the safety on them because they came from like a different fleet, so we just don't buy them.
I don't want them.
Yeah.
Brandon knows which big fleets they pull from that match our specs.
Yeah, that piece, we may be really different than everybody else who doesn't want to spend that money.
Yes.
But again, I have, my deductible is high enough where I'll spend that extra $10,000 and getting a truck that Mike thinks has every safety piece on it. Right. Maybe Brandon's got something and it doesn't meet us. He's not going to throw that to us unless we're desperate. He's not going to give us that. He's not going to throw it. He may send Mike a quick email and say, hey, I got this truck, but I don't think this is what you're looking for, and give us that choice. But in general, he doesn't. I mean, when he sends something, I know this is what you're looking for. This has got this. And then Michael will say, hey, it's got everything on it, Mom. Do you need this one?
And most of the trucks came from big fleets before that were maintaining them to good specs.
Yeah. That is super important for us. And if there's only so many trucks available, then just give me the ones that I really need.
So safety's been mentioned, a lot. Why is that so important to you?
Okay, well, number one, we are in a specialized insurance, and actually above that is the safety of our drivers. So I want everybody to come home every single night in one piece to their family. It is the number one thing that could possibly happen we're such a family-oriented business that we care about every single driver, every single family everything that happens to them. I want the safest truck. Is it always possible? Maybe not, but whatever I can do, I want it to be safety. And so when I buy a vehicle, any vehicle, whether it's a used vehicle, new vehicle, I want every safety piece of equipment on that truck that I can possibly buy. And Brandon already shifts through that for me. Brandon's able to get everything that he can when he sends me what he has in inventory. He knows what we need, he knows what we want. And then he actually just sends it to Michael, and then Michael sifts through it and then says, Mom, this is what we need.
Well, we found that the used truck center has one of the biggest inventories of fleet maintained vehicles. For us, it's important to find trucks that have been taken care of in their previous life, because obviously we're not buying a new truck. Somebody took care of that truck before. So for us, buying a fleet maintained vehicle, and usually they're already spec'd with a lot of safety stuff, has really helped with driver recruitment, but also just the overall life of that vehicle. So when you buy a fleet maintained truck, most of the time they're also spec'd with a lot of the newest brake technology, the Bendix Wingman system. Sometimes they have the lane assist on them, the side view. So most of the time too, the maintenance records are so intact that you know what happened to that truck is going to be safe, that nobody was just jobbing it together and throwing parts on it, or not throwing parts on it because they don't want to before they trade it in. When they trade in these fleet spec vehicles, you know you're getting a good quality vehicle by the time you get it.
And I don't know if he said anything beforehand, so his dad isn't, my husband's in charge of the fleet.
Yeah. There's also a big scared thing to buy a really bad vehicle and make him work on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
so my husband also loves Brandon because my husband's in charge of the fleet, and he enters all of the information when we buy a used vehicle into his computer so that we have it in case there is any problems. So if there is any problems, he can contact Brandon if we have anything wrong in the prior life, and then we have everything in our computer the way that we need it to be put in. So it's a really good deal for all of us. There's like a vicious circle going around between here, our maintenance in our shops, the entering the vehicles into our computers, and having all the backstory to the computer, to the truck that we have. So.
Yeah.
No, but by
by
putting that onto our trucks and having it on, whether it's my used trucks or my new trucks, you can say that you don't know, but you actually do know. There's a value to having every piece of safety, the mitigation, everything that you can possibly put onto your truck, you want on, because there is such a value. You say, okay, well, it costs $7,000 extra on a brand new. You don't know what's going to happen. What if it saved one driver? What if it saved one driver and brought one driver home from a terrible accident? Yeah. That alone is worth it for every single thing that you do. Every piece of safety that you can get on for your drivers is so important.
So do you guys buy your trucks with any warranty?
But the big thing that we buy the stuff from the used truck center is a 60-day truck protect promise, because something's going to break right away. It's going to happen.
It's a used truck, right?
Used truck. So you have basically a 60 days of a full warranty, not just a specific
engine, after treatment, chassis, transmission, all of it.
All the little. One of my favorite things to do is when I get a new truck, find something small that I can get fixed right away.
Of course.
Because of course, honestly, the two of them have to do this.
But honestly, it's tough because most of them come in so good. But the first time we bought a truck, we used the 60-day truck protect promise, which I didn't even know existed. Maybe that's because he's a bad salesman. Just joking, Brandon. But we used it, and that we never turned back, because that saved us $10,000 on our first used truck. Yeah. It was awesome.
It does. It makes selling a truck a whole lot simpler as a salesperson, knowing that you have the company that's going to stand behind you and the.
When I first started buying trucks, the big thing is my grandfather always taught me is you have to make sure that there's no check engine lights on, or try to get a data from the engine and make sure there's no hidden engine lights on. At this point, I don't care, because if you hid the check engine light, and it's going to come back on in the first 60 days and we're going to get it fixed. So you're not trying to hide things because you know they're going to come out. So I have a better chance of getting a really good truck.
Yeah.
So, the 60-day truck protect promise is one of the best features that the used truck center has going for it.
All right, thank you, Mike and Suzan Porter and Brandon Weaver, for joining us here at Copake Lake, the Greens Country Club, on our episode of Diners, Drivers, and Rides. I want to cheers to you guys. Cheers to C Blackburn Inc.
Cheers.
Thank you to Suzan and Mike Porter and all of C Blackburn Inc., as well as the Greens at Copake Lake, for their hospitality in upstate New York. It was great to meet with the team to learn about their fourth-generation family business. It was a pleasure to discuss how the international brand for both medium and heavy-duty trucks has helped C Blackburn Inc. keep this commitment.